Well, good morning, everybody. I'm out here nice and early, and I've been thinking about, since the last couple of times out here, how much has been learned and what an experience this really has been. I had spent the first day building that blind, and, it is what it is. And then the next day I built the bigger blind using bigger timber. And it is what it is. And then we built all the other things around here. And then myself, Nate, and Dame built this wall as the start of the shelter. And being that there were three of us, we had, more muscle, more manpower to go out and get timber. But even in this, there was a lot learned. So I had come out here 2 days ago and I counted 33 logs. That's a lot of trees, a lot of small trees to collect and clean. So I headed out into my perimeter here and started collecting wood. And with the objective, I want larger, more solid timber. I'm going to hand pick, and this is what I've done in the past day or so. So yeah, that is what I built. 19 logs compared to 33 logs. And it's tight. But what that represents is, for me personally, out here by myself, yes, although the logs are heavier, that's a lot less trips. And believe me, it's a lot of back and forth, back and forth. So being on a tear, I started this half wall because we're going to have an interesting opening in the corner. Half wall here, half wall there. It's funny, but this is not a shelter anymore. It's becoming a cabin. It's literally becoming a log cabin. So today, what I'm going to do is start collecting wood. Now, all these beams here, I did these by eye out in the woods. Fortunately, they all fit. But that was another thing. If I cut it once or twice out in the woods and don't have to cut it again when I get back here, that's a lot less work. Now this half wall, I made this. That is my exact length and size for the timber needed for that wall. The one over there, it's light. So I take this out in the woods with me, line it up, and I only have to cut the timber once. So that's the plan. Let's see what we can get for this and that, and go from there. God, I love the woods first thing in the morning. Look at that. Probably a bear. It's great. I've been seeing so much more animal activity out here since I've cleaned everything. So I'm only taking you guys out here on this first run for wood because this is going to take me hours, and you don't need to see it because it's all the same. It's the selectivity that has made the difference for me in the past couple days. See this thing? Still leaning. It's not rotted, it's solid, it's straight, and I can see that I can get a few lengths out of it. So I'm going to cut that and be able to take back a few pieces of wood. Same thing, even this on the ground. Well, actually not completely on the ground. It's leaning over this little ditch. Solid. Take it to the nub, right where it starts to get soft. See? This also helps in that respect. So, see? 3 cuts, 2 pieces of timber. They just need a little cleaning. They can go right in the wall. But instead of cutting the same piece of wood 5 times, because you're out here just picking up wood, cutting it, bringing it back, cutting it. There we go. Alright, so I am going to do this for a long time, and I'll get back with you guys. That's a thick one, ain't gonna fit. Well, 1 hour. So not too bad, and I'm guessing, well, I got another hour there. I made sure, like I said, that the other half wall over there is the same dimensions, so as I collect wood, I can use it on either side. And, let's see, for the record, I've been keeping track of this. The accumulation of distance for the accumulation of wood, 3.36 miles. I don't know how many trips, but alright, put this with the other wall and head back out of the woods. See you in a bit. Well, I just had to take a break. I made a couple more runs filling that in, but the timber that I came back with, because you know, the opportunity was there, is larger. So to switch gears, I'm going to start the second wall because that's got a larger gap in between the beams, so I can start putting the heavy wood over there. But check this out. I just found this. It was a cut piece from everything else. It is like the perfect handle. So I'm just going to clean it up and let it dry out, and we'll use it for something. But man, that is a good feeling piece of wood. So I'm going to just clean this up a bit, and then we're going to dig some holes. The root slayer is an odd looking creature. I did a review on this thing a couple of years ago. This thing has been awesome out here. Just so you guys know, I'll put the link to the video at the very end so you can check it out. This thing, well, does exactly what it's supposed to do. You just get in, cut. Because it's all roots, and thick ones too in here. Yeah, just chop, chop. And then, as you can see, nice post hole. All roots chopped up. So that shape really does do the job. Good. So right now, this whole intersection thing seems strange, but it should and will make sense in the future. The whole idea is to not have one side completely open, but a corner open, so we can travel to the front, to that side, and potentially, not sure. Don't know if the corner of this is going to come off. I mean, you can see right now there's enough room to navigate through here with ease, but this thing, like I said, is turning into a cabin, so we will see. I don't know what this turns out to be like when we get to it. Alright, I gotta tie that up and drop a few logs in. You know, this part is coming out so good. I mean, we've only been at this a couple weeks in comparison to looking over here, in which I learned a lot with that, and I got a lot of ground clean. That's the whole point of this side. Everything came from that hillside up on that, just cleaning that out. But this has been a more strategic approach, where it's going after better timber and just making it cleaner. But it's looking so good, it's making me rethink things. So I like the half wall up there because it's gonna keep it open to, well, the open section. But I'm rethinking my half wall down here and this whole misfunction junction, because again, this being here first, I thought that this would be a nice throughway. You know what my thoughts are? Cut the corner of this thing off, full wall it. That's the entrance, which will snug it up more for winter. I guess that'll give me something to think about, because I possibly cannot cut another piece of wood today. I'm gonna go. But I appreciate you guys coming by for the check-in. And I'll leave you with this thought as I've been thinking about it. My main fascination with American history is the early settlers of New England. In particular, the first 5 years of when the surveyors and early settlers would come out to these areas. And we're in New Hampshire. For the first 5 years, this is what they did, because there were no mills in town. You could not get planks unless you imported them. Therefore, every structure, and you know they had to make temporary structures, would have been like this. That's why we find these weird footprints out in the woods when we're metal detecting, because they would throw up stuff like this and live in it for probably a couple years until it was possible to get materials produced. So this has been wonderful for me, using the piece of land that I have, that I'm on. Obviously it would be different because they would be pulling new timber, fresh timber, which would be a lot easier to do and work with. But I am thoroughly enjoying it. Swinging my tomahawk and conquering the land. All right, everybody. Leave you with that. See you next time. Enjoy your Not Thursday.